Hello, hello. I know y'all surprised. Y'all saw Gangsta talk and was expecting Max, but no, this is Lady Gangsta talk. Now, y'all might have all heard about the army lieutenant that got pepper sprayed, falsely arrested, as far as I'm concerned. Well, this was like a ghost to for me, is a shadowing, and it comes down to you don't know your history is bound to repeat itself. Well, this is what I felt this was. This was the repeating of the history of our men in the military and what they came home to. Black people, black men has always served in the military. Every war that was ever fought in this country, before it became a country of its own and afterwards, black people and black men have fought in. And they were not given the respect. In fact, they were treated like criminals, or they were treated like they stole the uniform. Okay, well, I'm going to show the news report on this, and then we're going to talk about it. But first, I want to make sure I'm covering for fair use. All right, let's see. Yeah, got to make sure our behinds are covered. All right. All right. Here we go. This channel may contain content not authorized for use by its owner. However, according to Section 107 of the Copyright Act of the United States, the fair use of the copyrighted work for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, or research is an infringement of copyright. It's not an infringement. It's not an infringement of copyright. So, all right. Now to the main thing. All right, here we go.
Virginia, one police officer has been fired and another is under investigation for a traffic stop where an Army lieutenant was pepper sprayed, handcuffed. All right, tonight in Windsor, Virginia, one police officer has been fired.
Okay.
And another is under investigation for a traffic stop where an Army lieutenant was pepper sprayed, handcuffed, and held at gunpoint. CBS's Jeff Pegues has the disturbing body cam video that the state's governor says left him angered.
Keep your hands outside the window! Pulled over because he had no visible license plate, Army Lieutenant Karan Nazario was clearly worried about what could happen to him if he got out of the car.
I'm honestly afraid to get out.
Temporary tags on Nazario's new SUV were taped to the back windshield, something the Windsor, Virginia police officers had apparently overlooked.
Get out of the car now! I'm serving this country and this is how I'm treated?
Get out! Officer Joe Gutierrez, who was fired Sunday for his role in the incident, responds by using a phrase referencing death by electric chair. The situation escalates from there.
Hold on. Get out the car!
I'm trying to breathe. That's up.
Calm down!
Nazario eventually exits the SUV.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground now! Please talk to me.
It is a sad commentary that when a African-American male who is in uniform is still afraid to exit a car in today's day and age.
Today, the Sergeant Major of the Army praised Nazario's professional response to the situation. I'm very proud of him, he wrote. Nazario, who was ultimately not charged, has filed a $1 million lawsuit.
Get on the ground!
Alleging that the officers involved were racially biased and dangerous. There is more to Nazario's lawsuit. It also alleges that the officers involved threatened to destroy his military career if he complained. The town of Windsor says that it is retraining all of its officers, including the one who was not fired. Nora.
All of it caught on tape, and it has angered so many. Jeff Pegues, thank you.
Okay. So, what we saw, and what I keep saying as the ghost, is basically a lynching. Oh, yeah, there was no rope, there was no tree, but it was pretty much a lynching, modern lynching. Luckily, he survived. Luckily, he survived. So, yeah, I think they was trying to escalate the situation so that they have a reason to fire upon him, which it seems to be the MO of the police officer, since they can't just strangle us up in a tree anymore. They got to escalate a situation that does not need to be escalated. Shouldn't be an escalation necessary. But what you do not see, if you go back to the video, one of the officers says, "Well, I'm in the army too, and I know you know the rules and to get out." But they kept giving them contradictory response. Do this, do that. So he was right to be in fear for his life. He was right to be afraid, and he kept his hands in the air, so they and visible at all times. You know.
Well, I don't understand this. Well, I don't understand this. What did they stop him for in the first place? And when they stopped him, they seemed to be super aggressive for just no reason. It's like they were trying to pick a fight, like they was trying to create a situation that would end in a fatality. That's what it looked like. It looked like they was trying to provoke a situation that would end in a fatality. I would go out so far as to say, I would have to say allegedly, it looked like they wanted to take that young man's life.
That's what I think, and I think he sensed that too.
And you know, we have to take a look at this situation here. What are the police turning into? What have they turned into? What was this? What they always were? I'm starting to wonder if a time period was established a long time ago, and now the time has run out, and now they're becoming what they're really supposed to be. Because let's make no mistake about the Constitution. It's a racist document. Okay? It's a racist document. Everything in the Constitution is racist. There's not anything in that Constitution that benefits anyone else in this country other than white people. Okay? Put together by a couple of ignorant white men filled with hatred. And so when they notice that these race soldiers like this, they're always talking about that Constitution. And black people don't even realize when white folks talking about defending the Constitution, they're talking about defending racism.
Mm-hmm.
So the very people that you voted for, who hollered, "We're going to defend the Constitution," they're basically telling white people, "Look, we're going to defend racism," because that's what the Constitution is. It's racism. Okay, and Hillary Clinton, she wants to defend the Constitution. She wants to defend racism. All of these presidents hollering defending the Constitution is defending racism. Now, they've thrown a few things in there and try to make it look like it's not just for white people, but it is. And so when you have these race soldiers hell bent and charged up on defending the Constitution, they're out here defending racism. And this is what causes the kind of behavior that you've just seen. The kind of hyped up, supercharged behavior, because as far as they're concerned, they are soldiers of white supremacy and they're doing their people justice by defending what they believe in and defending what gave them power. And so they don't mind sacrificing their lives because they believe it's for the greater good. This is why you still have this going on, even in the midst of a George Floyd. This is why you have the other man who was murdered by the white cop, even in the midst of George Floyd, because to them, they don't care anything about that. All they care about is defending the Constitution. Now, people keep talking about, well, why are these people's constitutional rights, right, violated? Black people don't have constitutional rights. People of color do not have constitutional rights. It's just made to look that way. That's why your so-called constitutional rights is always violated.
Mm-hmm.
They don't violate the constitutional rights of other white people. It's a protocol whenever somebody non-black is in trouble with the law. It's a different set of rules that they follow. It's a different set of rules and it's a different behavior.
Mm-hmm.
They would never have done that if that was a white woman in that car or a white man in that car. They wouldn't have behaved that way. Those officers were completely over the top aggressive
Yeah.
because they were trying to create an altercation, in my humble opinion, that would have ended in a fatality of that young man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's why they were trying to fixate on what was his ranking and stuff like that, or what group he was, because certain military groups they tend to have firearms on, so they can use it as an excuse to kill him. He had a
So
gun. I fear for my life.
and listen, this tells you exactly what you're up against, right? You have a system that don't even care anything about the people it's supposed to be protected. So what does that tell you? I've said to you guys before, the people have the power. You have the power to do something about this. You know, and it is unacceptable for police officers who are supposed to be protecting this servant. But that's really not what the police is really all about. Police are, in their true state, they're slave catchers. Okay, they police slaves. That's their true nature. So whenever they see a non-black They behave that way. It's like a slave got out. You know, a slave escaped the plantation.
Mm-hmm.
This is why. This is another reason why they behave this way. Because you're non-white. I'm sorry, not non-black. I kept saying non-black, non-white. All right. So they get to chasing the slaves. I mean, the way they behaved with this young man was unbelievable. They had no regard for his status, cared nothing about him defending his country. Nothing. Now, had he been a white boy, it would have been thank you for your service. They would have gave him an apology, thank you for your service or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they had absolutely no respect for the fact that this man was giving his life for this country. I
Yeah.
want you to think about that for a second. And you got all of these coons following these white people, cheering these white people on, siding with these white. And look at the way they treat you. When is it going to sink in? How many times you got to see this before you understand what's really going on in this country? And there's things that you can do about it, but you can't do nothing about it if you just want to sit in awe of it and just talk about it. You have the power to do something about it because you are a part of the people. And regardless of the fact they do need you, even though they treat you like a piece of crap, they do need you. Sure, they try to act like they don't need you and try to make you feel that they don't need you, but they need you. I'll be right back. I gotta go on mute.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, they need you, but they need to use you. You know, they ain't gonna show no appreciation for the things you do. They don't care what your status is. They do not care if you in the military, active, retired, police officer. They don't care if you're a police officer. You know how many police officers got beat up going undercover because the cops didn't recognize them out of the uniform? Let's see. They don't care if you have money. You rich. They don't care uh, if you got status as a person of means. They don't care if you married one of their white people. Should more likely get even beat up even more because you're disrespecting or you tainting the bloodline. Well, anyway, yeah, so they don't care. Oh yeah, they need you, but they need you like they need tissue. You know, they're gonna use you to blow their nose, wipe their behind, and then they're gonna throw you away. Hmm. And just like they see us as animal, just like any other animal, they find every kind of use for us. You know, but as I was saying, those that don't know their history, well, shoots, the country itself is repeating itself. The reason why I said that, how I feel about seeing a ghost, this is a ghost for me. What I saw was reminding me of the story my great uncle was telling me about their experience. Now, he was telling me what happened to his older brother, who was also in the military. He came home first. World War II. War is over with. The other brother came home first. Because where they were at, there was still some fighting going on, something like that. I'm not quite clear. He came home in uniform, proud, and he can't wait. He couldn't wait to get to his girl to show her his uniform. Well, on his way, ran into some white men. One of them, a police officer, and they started questioning him. We gotta understand the time period. He's hoping, get through as soon as possible. He's nervous as heck because, hey, this is time when lynching happened. And, it was brought home. He forgot why he was overseas, but it came home that you're in America now. They don't see you like the Europeans that you freed did. They have no respect. And they start questioning him. They question him like he stole the uniform. How did you get that uniform? What you did to get that uniform? Blah blah blah. You serve where? Such and such and such and such. And start like what? Then they start going through his billfold. Now he not much money on him. Just had just enough to travel. He'd been sent the money forward to his parents. So they found a picture of his fiance, girl he couldn't wait to get home to. Now, it's Louisiana, mind, so she's a light-skinned black woman. If you don't know what to look for, you think she's white. And because where he came from, she can be mistaken for a German woman, So they start questioning that. He said, no, 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 she is not white. And when he explained where she came from, that lets you know the community of the mulattoes, and stuff like that. And then, somebody verify, that, the other white man verify that he's aware of this family. And yes, they do have a daughter, and he believed that is her name. So they let him go. But that was a close call. They were preparing to lynch him. So he went home to his parents to get out of that uniform. Told his mom what happened. I guess shook him up, and his mom is who he confides stuff to. Who in turn told his brothers who were still out there who's going to be coming back home and stuff like that. Telling them, before you get on any train to come home, get out of those uniforms. Buy used clothes. I'll send me an address and I'll send you some clothes and stuff like that. Do not come home. Do not get on them trains, on them uniforms. For a lot of black men, that was their only clothing, the military clothing, uniform. So, and then they were proud, they served and they did well and all of the other stuff. They were proud. And my great uncle came this close to being lynched. This young man came this close to being killed. Both of them had the presence of mind to do what they had to do to survive. Modern time, keep your hand visual at all times. Don't reach for nothing. Even if you have to disobey them, you get permission, you serve them to do whatever. But you don't bring your hands down because they're going to use it as an excuse to kill you or shoot you or gun you down. I fear for my life. My great uncle, he had to give up information he didn't want to give up. He had to give information like these men has the right. But if he wanted to get home to his people, he did what he had to do. He didn't grovel. He just gave them information, state matter of fact, and stuff like that, and tried to. But he was shook up. But he kept his head together and did kept his nerve together till he get home, because he don't know who else was out there. And I don't think he ever put that uniform back on again. We couldn't find any evidence of a uniform. It just that picture that he had sent his mom years ago. Because this war lasted, World War II lasted quite a few years. But no, yeah, he didn't want to see that uniform. Yeah, my grandfather had his uniform for a while. My his little brother had his uniform, but the older brother, no, and I don't blame him. After his experience, that brought home to you that they don't see you as their equal. You're a black man. You're the N word. You are an animal to be killed at their choice. They had the power of life and death over you and stuff like that. And they were offended to see a black man in a uniform. So I am very very upset. In fact, the young guy is suing uh the the department for $1 million. I say that ain't enough. I would get it for all I could get. You chased me down like a dog. You never told me what the stop was for. You pepper sprayed me. You were belligerent. You cursed me out. You pulled guns on me. And you did not help me. Then when I did what you did and I got out, you beating on me to get me to kneel down. I'm already blinded with pepper spray, can barely breathe. Yeah, so it was hard to see. hmm It also was a flashback to George Floyd. He was put on the ground. He was crying. He was so upset. And I think he was afraid he wasn't going to survive this. Then they threatened him with his career. They disrespected his uniform. They disrespected his credentials. And then they're gonna threaten his career because they knew they were wrong. And they knew that he was pissed off as hell. But hey, what can he do? He's handcuffed. They got the guns. Yeah. Reason why no charges were brought on him? Because they threatened him. See, military people know this more than I do. That when you're in the military and you're arrested, it messes uh, with your advancement. If not, pull you down in rank. So yeah, so they knew how to blackmail. Well, hey, one of them was former military. He knew exactly what to say to try to shut him up, but it didn't work. This is a new day, new time. They act like they didn't have cameras running around with them. They thought it was going to be kept quiet. Shoot, this happened in December. It only was kept quiet long enough for the case to be handled, and now it's all over the news. And everybody's fired up. We had the George Floyd trial. We had this other young man who was killed over expired plate. Uh, this young dude humiliated because they couldn't see the temporary plate in his window. They didn't even go looking for that. Soon as pulled over, they had guns drawn. In fact, if you ever do see it, you hear what they call it when they ratchet the gun. I thought it was he had a shotgun because I heard like when you I forgot what they call it when you anyway and that's like They are pulling a gun on him. I can hear the clicking of the gun. Ain't even got out of the car good. They ain't even got out of the police car good. And they already got the guns out. So they was determined to go after him. hmm Yeah, yeah. The man did everything right. He got in a lit place so they can see him and he can see them. Sounds like they would rather have been dark so they could say, I didn't see anything. I thought he had a gun. Not in that well lit up place. Yep, he had the flashing light. He slowed down and he waited till he got to a well lit up place. That might have saved his life. So, okay, he had his hands out immediately. As soon as he pulled over, put it in park, had his hands out. I ain't playing with. I ain't trying to wait till y'all see if I got my hands on the steering wheel. I got my hands out the window. Yeah, highly favored. Yeah, it's happening way, way too much. But the cameras is finally showing the world what we already knew. We've been seeing this a long time. We've been having these talks with young boys as they coming to learn to drive. They had to learn how to deal with police officers. They had to take all the precautions. You know, have your hands visible out there. I used to wonder why all the men in my life had their registration, license, whatever on their sun visor. If you look, you can almost tell a man's car because all that information is on his sun visor. So he don't have to reach to the glove compartment. So he don't have to reach for his wallet. So he don't have to reach into the console. No, it's right there. And still they have to say, officer, my license registration's on my sun visor. Can I go ahead and get it? Shooks, I know dispatcher has to go through the same thing. Black dispatcher got pulled over by the police officer in her department, in the office she's dispatching for, and she did the same exact thing. She had her hands up. She had him out the window, and he put her through all kind of stuff. And she was like, "Officer, my registration in my glove compartment. Is it okay if I get my license registration out of the glove box?" Yes. Okay, I am reaching for my glove box. I do not have a gun. She had to say all that because she ain't playing. Even though she worked with these white police officers and they know her, or supposedly, she ain't taking no chances with them because they don't see her. They just see a black woman. And that's what happens. They don't see you. They see a black person. So no matter what you're doing, you got the most expensive car. They don't care. You're a black person. You live in a nice neighborhood. They don't care. You're a black person. You're a police officer. They don't care. You're a black person. You're in the military. They don't care. You're a black person. Oh, you are a doctor. They don't care. You are a black person. Lawyer. They don't care. You're a black person. Gay. They don't care. You're a black person. Let's see. I can name every profession in the world. They don't freaking care because you're a black person. All they see is your blackness, and and they put all kind of stereotypes on it. Oh, I'm afraid the big black person, the big black woman, And all this bull crap about you should have complied, should have complied. The world should be getting by now. Black people have been complying for centuries, not decades, not years, not months, not decades, not even the next generation. Centuries been complying and doing what we could to save our lives and save our people and save our children. Oh yeah, President Obama. They didn't care. They call him a liar. They call him the N-word. I'm trying to remember all the stuff they did. They freaking did not care. Oh, they went out of their way to not cooperate with him, to not do anything, not help him with anything. Yeah, they always say you should have complied. Excuse you. How you gonna comply to 3 different directions at once? Keep your hands up. Unlock the door. Unbuckle your seatbelt. Step out the door. How I'm gonna do that and keep my hands up in the air? I gotta reach. Stand up. Kneel down. Talk to me. Shut up. Lie down. Sit here. Sit over there. Yeah. So, how you gonna comply on different directions at the same freaking time? They don't want. Oh, okay. First, keep your hands up where I can see. I see you don't have a gun. Now unlock the door and then unbuckle yourself and come out. They don't do that. They just bark out. Keep your hands up where I can see it. Unlock that door. Unbuckle yourself from seatbelt and come out of the car. Let's see. Obama, former portrait with abnormally long arms. They think it's funny. Oh, well. Well, you didn't think they were going to make it easy, since Obama's out of the White House. No. They feel like they got to rub the taints of Obama out the White House. I'm surprised they didn't try to get rid of everything and remodel the whole interior of the White House. Put a new coat of paint. Oh, wait a minute. Aren't they doing some remodeling? No, that's the Capitol building, not the White House. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and they coming out angry and aggressive. So you definitely in fear for your life. Yeah. And it's no safer being a woman. It's like, you got it easy. I had my cousin do this. You got it easy. You're a woman. Yeah, but we still go through some of the same things. Now, maybe to some of them, I'm a less threatening, but let me make a sudden move or something like that, or reach to go get something without telling them what I'm about to do. Yeah, because I didn't understand why, they had the I was asking my cousin about why he got his license registration there. Shouldn't it be in the glove box? And that's when we had the talk and stuff like that. He said no, because then I'm gonna have to reach for it, and if I reach for it, police officer might think I got a gun and try to shoot me. So it's just safer just to have it there. And I've seen it. I've seen younger cousins, younger uncles as they learned to drive, all that right there. I remember seeing older cousins, my mom's generation cousin. Oh, hey, say it ain't so. So, as I was saying, this was a lynching. It's just that in this case, he survived. This case, he played it smart. This case, he did whatever he had to do to get out alive. Oh, he got hurt. He got humiliated. He got pepper sprayed, but he's alive. He's coming to understand that that the society don't appreciate that he's active military, active medical military. That means that when they deploy, he's the person that got to go and keep these soldiers in good health, or patch them together, or make sure they survive when they go out, when they deploy. We don't know if this young man just came from deployment, so he'll probably be more traumatized. Somebody mentioned it, more traumatized by what the police did to him than what he might experience at the being deployed. Yeah, yeah, it's getting like that. Sorry, I'm bringing it down. A cousin, a medic? No, 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 no. We're talking about the army lieutenant that got pepper sprayed. He was a medic. My cousin's in the military. They're the ones that what you call that? They the landmines. Okay, when they were deployed, wherever they were at, they had tanks and vehicles, and they had to go before them and disarm landmines. Yeah, so they weren't medic, but they they did a lot more hazardous things. Like, what made you go for do something like that? Yeah. Mm, yeah, so no, I didn't have any cousins that was in the military as a medic. To have like that. Their dad was a sergeant. He with dealing with the supplies to make sure that all the military personnel have all the equipment they need, especially when they're being deployed. He was on top of that. I think, yeah, he was there for Desert Shield and Desert Storm. And let's see, various other relatives. Okay, my grandfather, World War II, um, and he was stationed in Australia. Oh, he listened. Him and his little brother. They listened to their mom. You know, they believe hey, their mom wouldn't lie to them about that. They just was grateful that he came through alive. Because they could have used any excuse and hung him if they wanted to. Let's see. A lot of she had a lot of friends in different aspects of the military. Some was so one was in the Navy. He was upset because he always ended up in a landlocked area. He said, "How are you gonna be in the Navy? You know, I was expecting to be on ships and travel the oceans. No, everywhere they send me, I'm in a landlock." Let's see. One or two Marines, but I haven't seen them too much since we graduated because I don't know where they at. I gotta talk to his cousin next time I see her and ask what she how he been doing. But he was going to the Marines, and as far as I know, he's still with the Marines. But anyway, but I guess because a lot of us had grandfathers, because there's like after my grandfather was the Korean War, the Vietnam War. My uncle, the one that's in the army, he just missed the Vietnam War, When he joined the army, the
Okay,
the
I'm back.
Vietnam War was ending. Hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hmm.
All right, Dan, let me cover you for me. I need you to I want to point something out to everybody.
Hmm.
The police officer that fatally shot that boy, thinking that it was a taser instead of a gun. I want you to pull up her name and how long she was on the force. That's one. And two, I got a picture, I got a link in the chat, in the Discord, of police standard issue tasers. Okay? I want you to put them up on the screen when you get a chance. All right, so let me know when you got that police officer's name and all that stuff. So while she's doing that, let me back her up on what she was talking about this traffic stop. I mean, this was horrific. Now, the problem with us is that we're going to look at this as if we're watching a Bugs Bunny cartoon. You know, we're going to look at this as if we're watching a standard episode of of Medea Goes to Jail or something. You know, we're going to look at this as entertainment. This isn't entertainment, people. This is real life. This is going on for real. Too many black folks think that this is a joke. It's not a joke until you get pulled over. These cops are absolutely serious. If you don't think so, why don't you ask the people who are in their grave from these police encounters? You think when they were alive and they encountered the police that they thought that they would die? This is not funny. This is not entertainment. This is not Toonami. You know, I see some responses around the internet from black people that I think are disturbing. You guys think this is entertainment TV. It's not. This is going on in real time. And you need to get your mind right. This is not a joke. This is not entertainment. People are losing their lives. These race soldiers are rearing their ugly head. This is what they always were. You see, let me explain something to you. To protect and serve doesn't mean to protect and serve the public. It means to protect and serve their way of life, to protect and serve their power, which is the Constitution. This is racism. The police are here to protect and serve racism. They're not here to protect and serve people. Now, in the midst of that, people have tried to mar what the true meaning of the police, by saying that they're here to protect and serve the people. They're trying to make that transition, but they haven't made that transition fully because the police office, people talking about the police office, officers in the police system is corrupted. No, it isn't. That's the way it was meant to be. It was meant to be filled with racist cops. You're talking about slave catchers. It was meant to be filled with Ku Klux Klanmen and white ringness and racist people. It's not corruption. That's what it's normally meant for. Cops don't care anything about you. Yes, they went through a situation in this country to where, some spotlight was shined on them and they had to lighten up in a few areas. Right? But this is what they really are. People talking about, well the police union and the police, this, that, are corrupted. No, they're not. This is what they're naturally supposed to be. They're racist. There's no corruption. This is what this is supposed to be. It would be corruption if it was something, if it was one thing, and then somebody tried to make it something else. But this is not the racism and stuff like that. This is natural. This is what they're supposed to be. There's nothing strange going on here. These are slave catchers, and they're here to protect the Constitution, which is racism. Now, we can get lulled to sleep and get a false sense of belonging if we want to. That's your prerogative. You can sit up here and sing some kumbaya songs and talking about under the Constitution, we have the right to do this, and that, when the Constitution wasn't even meant for you. The Constitution was written, didn't have you in mind. Two ignorant white men sat down and said, how are we going to protect our way of life, our power? They had nothing, they did not have you in mind. The Constitution wasn't created or written for you. Why do you think these race soldiers are always hollering the Constitution? Why do you think these white supremacists are always talking about upholding the Constitution? Because that Constitution is everything that they are. They are racist. It keeps their power intact. I mean, for Christ's sakes, you got to remember in there that has moved slavery from the public to behind closed doors. And you think that, let's get down to black politics, right? We keep talking about black politics. This is why I don't engage in politics, because it's a bunch of BS, right? They tell you, when you have all of these politicians running, right, black politicians, you don't never hear any of them challenging the Constitution. What black politician have you seen challenge the Constitution running for office? Even Obama. They don't challenge the Constitution. They don't. They stay away from the Constitution. Okay, so Dame, you're ready. Okay, so Dame, what is this officer's name? The one that shot the boy, thinking that the taser was a gun. How long was she on the force?
Her name is Kim Porter, and she's a 26-year veteran of the Brooklyn Center Police Department.
And where's that located? What state?
New York.
And in Minnesota?
Oh, it happened in Minnesota, but I guess she was a veteran at this police department before that.
Okay. The police department is in Minnesota, isn't it? Didn't this incident take place in Minnesota?
This incident took place in Minnesota. She's supposed to be a trainer. I guess she was over there in Minnesota training.
All right. Anyway, listen. Mm-hmm. So she's been on the force for 26 years. So for 26 years, she's put her guns on. Every day she went to work. Okay? 26 years. You're going to tell me she don't know the difference between a gun and a taser? 26 years. Now, let's take a look at some of the tasers. I put the link in the chat.
Okay. All right.
Now, it's hard. I want you to keep in mind, right? They don't keep, most officers that I know do not keep their taser and their gun in the same place. Okay, so there go a taser right there. It has a handle on it like a gun. Okay, so you pulled your gun out. Now, unless she pulled her gun out and started firing right away, you're going to tell me she couldn't recognize that she had a taser in her hand? You've been on the force for 26 years. And you can't tell whether you had a gun in your hand or not. Okay. Another thing. When did this incident take place? Did it take place in broad daylight, or did it take place at night?
Hmm. Let's see.
What time? What time was it when this happened?
Let's see.
And here's another thing too. When you have an officer this incompetent, right? How incompetent the rest of the police force is in that police department. When you have an idiot like this who's been on the force for 26 years and for some reason cannot tell the difference between a real gun and a taser. I can tell the difference whether I had a taser in my hand or a gun in my hand, and I'm not even a police officer. I don't have any experience on the force. So they track down when this incident happened. Anybody know when it happened? Because if it happened during the day, okay, it really makes it bad for her to claim that she thought she was firing a taser because she's going to tell me in broad daylight you couldn't see in your hand that you had a taser. And the taser is clearly different from the gun. Although it has a gun handle, it's shorter, it's lighter, it's a two-tone color. So I don't understand. And then you're pointing your gun in front of you, right? You can't see what's in your hand. I don't understand. Yeah, I
Okay, it
seen
was
that.
a it was a Sunday afternoon.
A Sunday afternoon. So we're talking about what, 3, 4 in the afternoon?
Mm, about 2 p.m. Just
It
before
was 2.
2 p.m.
All right, so it's 2 p.m. in the afternoon. So that means it was still daylight outside.
Hmm.
So she drew her gun. She threw her taser. Well, she drew her gun. She didn't really mean to grab any taser. Let me ask you a question. How come they never make this mistake? How come they never draw their taser when they mean to draw their gun? Anybody knows the mistake is always one side is always the same mistake?
Hmm.
Oh, I drew my gun, but I meant to draw my taser. Why is it that they never have their taser in their hand and they say, oh, well, I meant to draw my gun?
Hmm.
This is my opinion, my personal opinion. She wanted to show the training officer how to kill someone and get away with it. Because you cannot be that incompetent. And you are a veteran police officer of 26 years. You cannot make a mistake like that. Let me explain something to you. The longer you are on the job, the threshold of certain mistakes get smaller and smaller until they disappear altogether. There's simply some mistakes you just can't make anymore due to your experience. Now, it's not saying you can never make a mistake, but because of the experience and the time that you are doing something, certain mistakes disappear after a while. And if you make them, you're going to pay a heavy price because you shouldn't be making those mistakes. You've been around too long.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Just like if you're a writer and you start misspelling the word the, THE, keep misspelling it. Well, after a while, the publishing companies are going to say, "Oh, maybe it was a typo." But they're going to get to the point where they're going to think you're incompetent. Why? Because you shouldn't be making that mistake. You've been on the force for 26 years. You don't get to say you thought that you was pulling your taser and pulled your gun instead and fired. You don't get to say that. You don't get to hide behind that. Dave, you got that article up?
Yeah.
Read that article. I want to hear exactly what happened.
Okay. All right, all right, get out of my way. Ads. Okay. Oh, they got the body cam footage. Okay, Sunday afternoon traffic.
All right. Play the body cam footage. Hit the Did you do the FBI thing?
Yeah, I did.
Let's do the body cam footage first. Put it on the screen.
Okay. Okay. Here we go.
Play it.
Fabletics presents the first leggings ever designed to really.
It's okay. Play it.
Compression, a perfectly sculpting high-rise.
Switch the screen back, Dane.
Instant boost. It's the legging with instant uplift. The legging with this smile, this feeling. This new year, get a boost. Get 2 leggings for $24 at fabletics.com.
About the young man at the center of all of this, 20-year-old Dante Wright. Family members, including Katie Wright, Dante's mom, spoke at his vigil last night, telling the crowd that Dante was so much more than all of this.
He was a son, he was a brother, he was an uncle, he was a father, he was a grandson, he was so much more.
Everybody who knows Dante knows what kind of kid he is. He's the kid that gave you the shirt off of his back.
Through the tears and pain at the vigil last night, Dante's family still understandably in shock of what happened, with his mother saying that she'll never get her son back. because of a mistake at the hands of police. Attorney Ben Crump, who represents the family of George Floyd, will also represent Dante's family. We're told George Floyd's family will join Dante Wright's family at noon today for a news press conference. We're also learning that Dante was a Project Success student, which is a nonprofit that helps students dream and plan for their futures. They wrote in part that Dante, quote, lit up the room in our classroom workshops. We're heartbroken and thinking of his family, friends, and community. And President Joe Biden writing a post about Dante saying, today I'm thinking about Dante Wright and his family and the pain, anger, and trauma that Black America experiences every day. The president went on to say that while we await a full investigation, we know what we need to do to move forward, rebuild trust, and ensure accountability so no one is above the law. And you guys, I was checking the family has a GoFundMe page, Dante Wright's family, well over $250,000 so far.
Yeah, a lot of people have contributed to that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Alicia.
Well,
Wow. Okay, gang. Read the article. Name, you're on mute. Read the article.
Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. A Sunday afternoon traffic stop turned to tragedy when a Brooklyn Center officer pulled her gun and shot a young man in the chest, killing him. That man was 20-year-old Dante Wright. Wright, a black man, was pulled over
Julie,
just
yes,
before
we are
2.
right outside the Brooklyn Center Police Department again tonight.
Just before 2 p.m. Sunday, April 11, for having expired tags on his license plate. According to Brooklyn Center Police, officers said they realized he had an outstanding warrant for his arrest during the stop. Police attempted to take Wright into custody, but he re-entered his car, and police body cameras show white police officer Kim Porter pull her gun and shoot once. According to the county medical examiner, Wright died from the gunshot wound to his chest. On Monday night, the community gathered with members of White family to remember him. The Brooklyn Center Police Chief said he believed that Porter thought she was reaching for her taser when she grabbed her gun and had not intended to fatally shoot him. Brooklyn Center Police released that body cam video Monday. You can read more about the video contents and watch parts of it here. Oh, okay. I guess I got to click on that link for that. Okay. Wright's mother spoke on Monday evening visual, thanking everyone for coming, even though many of them had never met her son. Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is murky. They said he had an outstanding warrant. Okay, that could be for unpaid parking tickets. It doesn't mean that it's criminal. So let's get that out there. Just because he had a warrant, it doesn't mean that it's criminal. It could just be outstanding parking tickets. He probably ain't paid a parking ticket. But here's my thing. What did he reach back into the car for? Did they ask him to get his license? See, that's the. I wish we had footage of the actual event so we could see for ourselves what took place.
Okay. Let me see. There was something about a link to it.
Yeah, see if you could find if there was any footage of the actual stop. So I'm very curious to see why he went back into the car. No, it was to my understanding from what I was told, and I admit I did not read, that the tags were not expired. That in fact it was a brand new car given to him by his parents. Now, in a brand new car, you're supposed to get temporary plates. Unless you let the temporary plates expire.
Okay, let's see if this is it. Okay.
Because that's the key right there. Why did he go back into the car? That's what I want to know. Because you got to understand something. When they pull you over and take you out of that car, right? You are not to go back into that car for nothing, or they will kill you. Black people going forward. If you get pulled over and they make you step out of that vehicle, do not reach back into that vehicle for nothing, or they will shoot you. They will shoot you. They will say that you was going for a weapon or a gun. That's what they're going to say, and they're going to get off simply because they don't know what you have in the car.
Okay, found it.
Okay, throw it up there. So this is a stop. Okay, so that's him. He's handcuffed. Okay. All right. I don't know what to make of that.
Okay, from what I seen of it, the officer was attempting to handcuff him. You know, he was about to handcuff.
Play it.
She came.
Play it one more time.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I still don't know what's going on. I'm confused. Am I the only one confused by that? Dan, come off mute.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can find another. Okay, it looked like she was taking, I don't know, the opportunity to train them. Okay, they were. I
No, it's
know.
a good video. It's a good video. I just don't understand what went down. I don't get it.
Okay,
For
I
one,
think
for one, they were stopping him because the tags were expired. Got an outstanding warrant. They tried to put the cuffs on him. He broke away from the cuffs. He was fighting the police, which is a death sentence. Okay. She took out a gun, which was clearly a gun. And she knew it was a gun because she can see it. The gun was clearly in plain view. It was broad daylight. So she meant to draw her gun. And funny though, she's got good aim because she shot through and didn't hit any of them other cops who was basically surrounding him.
yeah. And what was the purpose of her saying tase him, tase him, tase him 3
Learning
times?
about the young man at the center of all of this, 20-year-old Dante Wright. Family members, including Katie Wright, Dante's mom, spoke at a vigil last night, telling the crowd that Dante was so...
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I'm still trying to get past the initial stop itself. Okay,
They lied. They said it was about not having the tag on the plate.
Yeah, I get all of that. I'm talking about I get that. I'm talking about they got him in handcuffs.
No, they didn't quite have him in handcuffs yet. They were putting him in handcuffs.
They put him in handcuffs.
But she interfered because if you pay attention, the black officer is attempting to handcuff him. I guess they were having some words. She stepped forward. And you see her hand going in, and it's like she pushed the officer a little bit to the side, and that's when he dived back into the car.
And then they let the car drive away
because they were shocked. Or shoot, maybe they saw her pull a gun and they just wanted to get out of line of fire, which opened the way for him to drive off.
And they didn't even pursue him. They just stood there like, okay, I shot him. What?
From the looks of it, they were all green guys. I think they were all in training. And she was trying to use that stop as an opportunity to train them on something. So they looking to her as the lead, as the oldest officer, lead officer, and they like, did she just
I don't understand
by accident?
Yeah, I don't understand something here. So you okay? They're trying to put the handcuffs on him. Apparently, he knew that he had outstanding warrants because he doesn't want to go to jail. I don't understand. Wait a minute, this doesn't jive because they said that he was this student and that student, and he was this, and that. So why are you trying to fight with the police? Don't get me wrong, I'm not defending the police. I think they're awful. I just don't understand why. What was he fighting for?
Well, supposedly the warrant was on some minor drug charge. He smoked. I guess they caught him smoking some weed or something like that. I don't know. I mean, I don't know exactly.
Okay, smoking weed, it shouldn't be a death sentence. You're not going to go to jail for long periods of time for smoking a blunt or, I mean, I don't understand his aggression. I don't even get it.
I wonder what
The
the police officer that was trying to handcuff him said to him,
the,
because the
the black
police officer paused.
the black people. Here's the deal. Going forward, you have to understand something. You can't physically fight the police. You're not going to win that fight. Okay, you're not. They're well armed. They got too many colleagues, and the law is on their side. Okay, you're not going to win against that. I don't understand the reason why he fought back against the police.
Mhm.
Okay, if you got expired tags, okay, that's not the end of the world. Usually that's as long as the car is not stolen, usually that's a misdemeanor. That's not even, I think that's a summons and maybe a fine. That's it. And then, all right, you got a warrant. All right, depending on what the warrant is, they're gonna, the standard is that they're gonna arrest you and take you downtown because you have a warrant. Okay, that's standard procedure. Okay, whether the warrant is, regardless of what the warrant is for, it's a warrant. So you're going to get arrested. All right. Now you can get down to downtown to get yourself bailed out, but you're getting arrested. So there's no need fighting it. Just take the arrest, go downtown, go down a lockup, live and fight another day. Call your people, say, hey, I'm locked up, need somebody to bail me out. And then you deal with it from there. You know? To me, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, he was talking to his mother when the police pulled him over. Maybe she said something that panicked him.
Yeah, and listen, and here's another thing too, right? And I hate to do it. This is gonna sound like I'm defending the police, and trust me, I'm not. But you got to use common sense. You don't jump into. You're surrounded by police officers. You don't jump into a vehicle and try to pull away. You're right. You automatically escalate everything. That when you become a serious threat, now you force their hand. They have to take you out to stop you. You've given them no other option. I don't. My thing is, I don't understand him. Okay, I don't get his. I don't understand his issue. Okay, that's what's bothering me about this whole thing. Okay, why is he resisting like that? Why is he fighting like that? Like what was the warrant really about?
Mm-hmm.
What was he so afraid of that he had to put up all of that fight, end up risk getting shot? Because I'm telling you right now, people, when you're in a situation like that, you're surrounded by police officers, man, you got zero leverage. You need to do what they tell you to do, or they're going to kill you.
I hate to bring it up, but I'm wondering if it has something to do with him being mixed and he's raised with a white mother, and she don't see the police like black people see the police, so he ain't been given the speech. He ain't been, and maybe his father don't think that, some of them think that if they out of the black community, they with the white community, that they got out of those situations, and don't train their child to understand you're black in this society, and they're not going to treat you the same as white people. You cannot respond the same way as white people. You're not considered white by them.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real good point, because if he's mixed, The police didn't see the fact that he was mixed. They just saw another black man that they pulled over.
Hmm.
They
And
didn't care nothing about the fact that he had a black parent or a white parent.
mhm.
Like I said, my whole thing is the fact that he fighting in the first place. You're surrounded by police officers. What are you doing fighting?
That well, that's I'm thinking that's what I'm thinking is because that's something white boys do.
Yeah,
They
but you, yeah,
fight with
but
the police.
I
They
know.
argue with the police.
Well, they don't. They didn't see him as a white boy.
Yeah, but he don't know that. If he grew up thinking that he's black and that racism is not the same, and he could do what other white boys do and stuff like that, and he ain't been facing the full brunt of being a black man
So,
in the police by
all
himself.
right.
This is a
So,
brand new car, so this is a new car for him. So
all right.
this like,
So he's right. So he's half black and he's half white.
hmm
So when he's smoking weed, I guess that's the half black side.
no,
And
I'm
so
saying
when he
that's the
gets
right
pulled up,
side.
wait a minute. So when he gets pulled over by the police, I guess he feels that that's the privileged white side. Hey, I'm half white, so you can only do half the things to me that you do to other black people.
For all we know,
It's
he
yeah,
could have mouthed off to the police, saying,
yeah. But
you
my
can't treat me like that.
but
Blah
my
blah
thing when
blah.
you look
I have
at right,
rights. Blah 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 blah, and
right.
cursed him out.
But when you look at the footage, right,
Hmm.
they had the car stopped. They had him outside the car. They're trying to. And first of all, how are you going to have four cops and can't nobody put handcuffs on one person? What kind of
Green,
cops were these?
green ones, because she
You
was
got
in
four
teacher
police
mode.
officers. You got four police. Okay, so she was training all of those cops.
I guess so. They
I
just
thought it
didn't
said
seem
that
to know
she.
what to
I
do.
thought it said that she was training one cop.
Mm.
She's training all of them.
Okay, I know she's supposed to be the trainer of the Minnesota Police Department.
Oh, so that makes sense then.
Hmm.
Why she kept saying tase him because she was training him, and so when he became combative, she yelled out, "Tase him! Tase him! Tase him!" That's why she said that. That's why she said that three times. She
And
was
I
trying to
guess they
get
don't
one of
move
the
fast
right.
enough.
Right, they didn't move fast enough, so she killed her. Man, look, I'm sorry, but they're gonna they ain't nothing gonna happen to her. From what I've seen, ain't nothing. She gonna walk. I don't even know if there's any charges. Did they bring any charges against her?
No, 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 no.
Yeah, I'm not even expecting any charges to be brought against her. Actually, she didn't even have to use. They didn't even have to make no excuse that she went for the taser because he he brought that on himself. And I hate to say that, but you can't be reckless like that with your life. You can't do that with these cops.
Hmm.
You can't do that. They didn't even have to say anything about it. I don't even know why. I mean, she pulled a gun. She's got to. First of all, the other officers, he done jumped into the car and getting ready to drive off. He done escalated and he done became a serious threat. Now the other officers' lives are in harm's way, and she's the senior officer, so she has to protect the life of the other officers too. So yeah, she's got to neutralize the threat. I don't see her getting charged at all. If
She's
she
on
gets charged, huh?
she's on standard administrative leave.
Yeah, if she gets charged, I'd be very, very, very shocked. I'd be very shocked if she gets charged. I don't see anything in that video the way she should be charged. You know, I mean, he, for all intents and purposes, the half breed brought this on himself. And I'm not trying to sound facetious or mean or anything. I'm just calling it what it is. He brought this on himself. You can't do that. You can't jump into. You surrounded by police officers. I still don't know how the hell could nobody put the cuffs on him. You got 3 police officers there. Nobody can get the cuffs on this guy. It wasn't like he was. Yeah, it wasn't like he was resisting right away.
Yeah.
Hold on, play it again.
Officer that was putting cuffs on him.
Play it again.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, play it again, cause I got all kinds of problems with this one.
Oh, shucks, I gotta go looking for it. Okay.
Yeah, because I can't get past the fact that you had multiple officers there and couldn't nobody put handcuffs on this guy.
Okay.
I gotta refresh my screen. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, everybody. I don't want to be mean, but I think it's the parents' fault. They did not prepare him for being a black man in this world and how to respond.
Okay, you got it. You got it ready.
Okay.
Yeah, and because she was the training officer. Because I was wondering why she said it 3 times too. It makes sense because when he started to fight with them, she was trying to instruct them to tase him. Had one of them tased him, he probably wouldn't have shot him. Go ahead, play it, Dane.
All right.
You got to share the screen now. All right. Yeah. All right, so they're walking up to it. Okay. Standard here. Stop. Okay, so now he's out of the car. Okay, that's the first officer. And the second officer is over there. Okay, this guy can't put handcuffs on. Okay, you got, okay, that's 2, 3 hand. Wait a minute, stop. Roll it back a little bit. Roll it back a little bit. Okay, go ahead. Play it. And stop it when I tell you to stop. Okay, so that's one cop. Got him out of the car. For some reason, can't put handcuffs on him. Now stop. Dang, stop it. Roll it back. Roll it back. All right. Okay, stop. Okay, you got 1, 2. Those are 2 different sets of hands, plus the cop that's in front of him. So those three different sets of hands there. So there are 3 police officers right there up on this guy. One is trying to hold him in place. The other one is fortifying that position. And there's one in back of him, and they can't put handcuffs on him? Are you serious? No, I can't get past this right here. How is it that he's not in handcuffs? You're going to tell me these 3 cops right here couldn't get this young man in handcuffs? Had they put him in handcuffs, he would be alive.
Mhm.
Back it up some more.
Okay.
And you go forward.
Okay.
No, man. Back it up. Okay, stop it right there. Stop. Just stop it.
Okay.
Okay, so, okay, this is already problematic right here. You got the police officer who's in a position to put handcuffs on this man for some reason, cannot get the handcuffs on him. Okay? For some reason, he's very slow to get his handcuffs. All right, now play it. All right, stop. Okay, now you got two more cops coming in. Or is that just one cop?
That's just one cop. That's her.
Okay, that's her.
Mhm.
Okay, play it. No, that had to be two people.
There's the cop that was trying to handcuff them, and then it was her. The other cop is on the other side of the vehicle. The third cop is on the other side of the vehicle, on the passenger by the passenger door.
So how many cops was out there in total?
I think it was 3. I'm not certain, but I
All
want to say
right.
3.
Okay, so go ahead. Now, play it. Can I stop? Now, who has the body cam on?
That's her body cam.
Okay, so she's right there. Okay, go ahead.
As I watch the video and listen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they were a bunch of goof offs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a shame that a man lost his life. Okay, these cops were a couple of idiots. You know, first of all, they were scared to death for one.
Mm-hmm.
Two, the one cop was incompetent. He couldn't put handcuffs on him. She came up to try to help him. They still couldn't get handcuffs on him. All right, and then she's yelling for him to tase him. He's scared to death and can't do what he's told. So she had to shoot him to try to keep him from getting away because he had the bright idea to escalate the situation even further by trying to get, drive away. And you can't do that. Okay, you cannot do that. You cannot do that, man. And it's a shame. It's unfortunate. May the creator rest his soul, but it's a shame. He didn't have to die. I can't get over how incompetent the police were. You couldn't put handcuffs on this guy. I mean, had they put handcuffs on him, he would still be alive. That stuff would have never took place because they would have had handcuffs on him. The situation would have been under control, and they would have been able to put him in a squad car. And that would have been the end of the situation. Because they couldn't get handcuffs on him, the situation escalated, and she ended up shooting him. 26 years on the force and can't tell the difference between a taser and a gun.
Mm-hmm. And she's supposed to be training them.
Right, she's training them. So I guess in 26 years, they won't be able to tell the difference between a gun either and a taser. Or maybe it might even be worse. They might not be able to tell the difference between a gun and a bag of popcorn. So I guess under her tutelage, what we have to look forward to 26 years from now are incompetent police officers who can't tell the difference between a gun and a pair of shoes.
And who don't know how to handcuff people.
Yeah, don't know how to handcuff people. I mean, I can't get paid. This is incompetent, dude. How is it that you had them standing up there for that amount of time and you can't put cuffs on them? And he wasn't even resisting at the time. You could have just slipped the cuffs on him, bro. I know security guards that work in grocery stores that could have put cuffs on this guy. Seriously. I know security guards who carry handcuffs and would slip handcuffs on this guy in a half a second.
Mm-hmm.
Had they put handcuffs on him, he would still be alive today.
Yeah.
And I don't want to talk about her because it's hard to talk about her without defending her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to say anything about her. But I'm still on that incompetent. It's incompetent. It's like, dude, man. I would have told him, look, man, you're not police officer material. We can't have anybody on the force scared of their own shadow and too incompetent to do something as basic as put handcuffs on a suspect that you have under control. He had him under control. Like I said, I know security guards that would have put handcuffs on this dude in a split second.
And what made him to try to run anyhow?
Well, he has his demons. I'm not gonna judge him. He felt a need to run. I mean, it's easy for us to say, well, he shouldn't have ran. We don't know what he was facing.
Uh-huh.
It may have been in his best interest to try to run. I mean, it wasn't smart. Look, I don't think he should have ran. And I don't even know why he. To me, this is senseless.
Yeah.
This whole thing didn't even make any sense to me. None of this had to happen. It didn't have to happen to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's getting after me right now. Is that this didn't have to happen.
Now, broadcast, by the way, is available on the Fox Vegas by using the FAQ function. You can hear Alejandro Luna.
Well, this is unfortunate.
We are ready for the main event.
Incompetent police officers.
Thank you very much. BC and Gerard Booth facing his first to top of 10 rank contender and Sergey Lopez and headlining his first Showtime Championship boxing main event. So a true test.
Should say this incompetent police officer all the way around. The police officers that pepper sprayed the army lieutenant, they incompetent. You got cameras on you. You are pretty much retired in class. Yeah, he threatened his career on top of that.
First joining us to the red corner. From Russia Bible and Kazakhstan,
Well,
here is the former world champion, Ebony. Samurai!
So yeah, I think the police department around the country is starting to show their hands of incompetency. Yeah. So, Max, unless you have anything else to say, I'm going to wrap it up.
you got it.
All
No,
right.
I just want to say that this was stupid. None of this had to happen. Neither one, unfortunately, the young man who lost his life, that was senseless. The cops were grossly incompetent. He was overly aggressive. And it resulted in a tragic loss of life.
Mm-hmm.
He did, Kendall, and the thing I still can't get past the incompetence of the police officer. You got to be kidding me, man. You got to be kidding me. You have this man under control, and you can't put cuffs on him. Like I said, I know security guards who would have been able to put cuffs on this guy with no problem. So I don't know how they're gonna. Like I said, I don't want to talk about the Becky because it's hard to talk about her without defending her, and I'm not defending no Beckys, but this was ridiculous.
Yeah.
This was absolutely ridiculous, and it didn't have to happen. All right, that's all I gotta say. I'm out. Peace, power, and unity, y'all.
Yeah, and I might be being considered mean, but uh, his parents didn't teach him anything. First thing you do is you do not fight with the cops. You comply as much as possible so you can get back home safe. Nothing is worth your life. Okay, a ticket you can come back from. You get put in jail for some fine, you can come back from that. What happened to teaching them what they're supposed to do to deal with the police officer and doing whatever they can to make it back home alive? We ain't saying, alive and as unhurt as possible. So his parents dropped the ball because he shouldn't have been panicking like that or trying to run off like that. But as I said, you don't learn your history, it's bound to repeat itself. Okay, everybody, good night. Thanks for coming to Lady Gangsta Talk and seeing my thoughts on what you do when you see a ghost or how I feel about seeing a ghost. All right, let's leave out with some music. Peace, power, unity, everyone. Okay.